Good afternoon, I'm Jordan Kimmel, Investview's Chief Investment Officer, and I'm with Anthony Lotito, who's the Director of our Financial Services Division. And Tony, I want to ask you, you've been in the business 25 years plus already. What do you think the single best investment an individual can make?
That's a great question, Jordan, and it's a question that people have been asking me for a very, very long time, and I always give them basically the same answer.
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't know. And the reason why I say that is because every individual is so different, and in order to make an investment, it really comes down to their core values and what's important to them.
Okay.
So I kind of reverse the question a little bit, and I ask someone, what's important about money to you? And although that sounds like a very simple question, in reality, it's probably the most complicated question I could ask someone. And I've seen the most stoic men in the world fuddle with that question and that answer. Everybody gives you the stock answer, freedom, independence, but I like to go deeper than that. I drill down really, really deep until I get to their core values.
Okay.
And once you get to a person's core values, the answers become very, very simple.
Well, you know, there's a way to do that, and not everyone knows what this is all about. I want you to actually introduce to them something you've talked to me about from the day I met you, the investment policy statement. So share what an investment policy statement is, what really goes into it.
Sure. You know, Jordan, I've worked with so many individuals, which we would call the retail side of the business,
Right.
But I've also worked with some of the best institutional investors in the world. I've been an advisor to some of the largest pension groups that exist, where they have, $200 billion of assets under management. And you can imagine that when you're at that level, the responsibility to invest money, to make good financial decisions, to make good quality investment decisions is critical. Because when you're in the professional arena, you're held to a much, much higher standard than when you work with an individual. And the institutional players have access to some of the best consultants and investment advisors in the world because they're willing to pay for those services. And over the years, many, many things have changed. And one of the things that I've seen change is that the retail investor has access to information and quality investment advice like never before. But there's one differentiator between the institutional professional investor and the retail investor. And that difference is what I call the investment policy statement. An investment policy statement is a roadmap or a blueprint that is created for an individual generically. And what it does, it really drills deep into someone's core values,
Okay.
and we take those core values and we interpret that as it relates to the investment universe, the opportunities of investments that may become available for an individual. And before we decide to buy Apple or a mutual fund or invest in the next great, technology company,
Right.
we create a generic model based on that individual's core values. And as we create that model, we eliminate investments that they should never make, and we include investments that would be right on target for them to make. And it's an essential tool that I would tell you 95% of retail investors do not have. And it always shocks me. I do a lot of seminar work.
Right.
And at the end of a seminar, there might be 30, 40 people in a room. I'll stand up and I'll ask people, how many have an investment policy statement? And the answer doesn't shock me anymore.
Right.
But the answer is always usually none. And you go around the room and there's some pretty sophisticated people in that room.
Yep.
Doctors, lawyers, CEOs of significant companies, and they have significant portfolios. And their asset managers are all brand names, yet not an investment policy statement in sight. So I think, and I truly believe, that the core foundation for successful investing is to know your own personal values and to create your blueprint,
Right.
your investment policy statement, which is your guiding principles that can then lead to backfilling with quality investments and advisors and things of that nature.
Right. And Tony, I know that a money manager will not even take on an institution without first completing an investment policy statement. And you're saying that generic blueprint actually then becomes a very specific roadmap for the client. And so why is it that this investment policy statement hasn't really infiltrated yet into the individual client yet?
Well, that's another great question, and I think the answer to that is predicated on the fact that institutional investors are professional investors, and they are held to a very, very, very high standard. Typically, let's take a pension system.
Right.
A pension system is responsible for managing the assets of the employees of that entity, and they are held to what we call a fiduciary standard. So in order to fulfill that fiduciary requirement, they must create methodology,
Right.
they must create process, and they must be able to justify the decision-making process on selecting investments or advisors. And that's been the key, I think, over the years. But on the other side of the coin, today, you know this, right now we're experiencing the largest transfer of wealth in the history of the world.
Great point.
The greatest generation
Yep.
built up assets, and unfortunately they're all passing on.
Yep.
And as they pass on, those assets are being left to their children. So people now in their 40s and 50s are, not only through their own accumulation, but through the inheritance from their parents, they're sitting on rather large portfolios of money.
Right.
And that transfer of wealth is causing people to raise an eyebrow, ask a lot of questions, and the standard is increasing. The bar is being raised significantly for the retail investor because they have more responsibility to get the answers that they need on the investment side.
Right.
And I think now we're at a moment in time where people get a lot of noise from the investment universe. Every day you turn around, you can find out 14,000 things to invest in. You turn the TV on, and there's 50 guys on TV.
Right.
Buy this fund, buy that, buy this. That's a lot of noise.
Right.
And I think people are beginning to realize that they've got to silence the noise, go to their core values, and create a blueprint or a plan. And that's what we're seeing and experiencing right now. So we're starting to see it. And at Investview, that is becoming our standard operating procedure, that every one of our clients will have an investment policy statement.
Right. Well, Tony, one of the reasons that you've come on board is your conviction in the quality and the investment policy, really the care for the client. So tell us, what do you see you bringing, and what are some of the products and services that the Investview clients can actually look forward to in the next couple months and years?
Well, Jordan, you're a big part of that process. Having you on board here at Investview is such a distinct advantage for us. You bring all the experience and thoughtfulness from the investment community to us. And, we know that our clients will benefit from having you here in your direction and leadership. But, Jordan, you can't exist in a vacuum. So what we've done is we've built a platform. And that platform is a dynamic platform that will allow us to offer our clients a plethora of products and services that will benefit them as investors. So, for example, we've created a relationship with an entity that provides us over 300 private funds for our clients to utilize and select. And some of those funds are not available in the marketplace, so we have a distinct advantage there. But more importantly, as we build an investment policy statement, as you provide us with guidance on certain asset allocation models, we can go into that platform and backfill for our clients their investment portfolio. So not only do we have a chance to have you manage some of their assets, but we have the ability to manage them in such a way that they achieve their financial objectives, minimize the amount of risk that they will undertake, and yet get a reward that is significant in the marketplace by having access to products and services. So that's something that we're doing, we're building, and we're very confident that will be a big differentiator. One of the things that I do want to share with you, Jordan, we are an education company, and as Joe Loro will tell you, our CEO, we really care about our investors and the types of decisions that they make, and we find a lot of our clients are what we call self-reliant investors.
Okay.
But I know from experience that although someone might think that they're a self-reliant investor, there's a lot of frustration that comes in the marketplace. Listen, you're a professional.
Tough.
How many days have you hit the wall?
Yeah,
right?
it's tough. It's not easy.
It's
and
not
I
easy.
talk about that all the time.
So we're able now to go back to those clients. We have 60,000 names in our database people that are money-centric, people that have touched us in one way or another. I'm so excited to be able to offer them the opportunity not only to get our technology the way we have always delivered it, but now also offer them the ability for us to help them actually manage their portfolio and their wealth. That is such a great opportunity that I can't begin to tell you. I think it's going to change the complexion of this company, and I think it's going to attract a lot of people to Investview because when you combine great technology and high caring and that human quality, that management together, when you combine those two elements, it's the most powerful element you can combine as an investor and have success with. So I think we bring that to the table, and I think that's what we're all about right now, and it's very, very exciting.
Right. And let me just share, Tony, I'm looking forward to bringing Magnet and Fax into the fold. But in the past, that's all I was able to do. And I had a client maybe with too much exposure in an area they didn't want to be. So when we follow your blueprint, and you've said to me, we only want to work with clients after they complete this investment policy statement, then we know we're going to really be fulfilling a long-term role. And let me just say, Tony, from the day I met you, I realized the quality and integrity and your experience in the business, and I'm really looking forward to working with you for the next several years.
Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that, and same here. One thing I want to say, though, okay? Our conviction in regards to an investment policy statement is so strong. Typically, a financial planning firm or a wealth management firm will charge $1,000 or $2,000 for that statement. It's an important document, and people are willing to pay for that, and we have sold them over the years to many, many people. I want to offer every single Investview client an investment policy statement for no charge. And I'm willing to take the risk to do that because I believe in that so much that it will change that investor's life in such a significant way that they will want to be an Investview client for the rest of their lives.
And Tony, let's just do it and help as many people the right way. Really looking forward to it. And thanks again for your time today.
Thank you, Jordan, for having me.
Okay.